Hi everyone, my name is Jency. Today I'm presenting my AI independent study project, Taino Mythology Reimagined, where I used AI image generation to visualize ancient Caribbean gods as personifications of human emotions in modern settings. For the project overview, the concept is simple. Create a 10 image art portfolio using Nano Banana, Google's Gemini based image generator. I chose Taino mythology because it's incredibly rich but underappreciated in modern art and almost non existent in AI generated content. This project honors that living heritage. Who were the Taino? The Taino were the indigenous people of Puerto Rico, Cuba, Hispaniola, Jamaica, and Bahamas when Columbus arrived in 1492. And here's something critical, they are not extinct. DNA studies show that 61% of Puerto Ricans carry Taino ancestry. Their culture and their descendants are still here today. For Taino cosmology, there is three realms: the sky world of the gods, the land world where we live in, and the Koabe, the underworld in the west. The spirits called Zemis inhabit everything. There was no hard line between natural and supernatural. What is Nano Banana? That is the code name for Google's DeepMind image generation models built on Gemini. It launched in early 2025 and went viral for its hyper realistic outputs. I access it through my Gemini subscription. It handles text to image editing, and has excellent style control. How it works. Here's the basic thing about it. You just go from text to prompt describing what you want. The model encodes that text into mathematical vectors. Then, through a process called diffusion, it it relatively removes noise from the random image until a coherent picture emerges. So, here's a portfolio: 10 images, 8 different deities, and 10 emotions. Each one places a Taino god in a modern Caribbean or diaspora setting. First, we have Atabe, the supreme mother goddess, representing love, hope, and serenity. I placed her emerging from a lagoon at golden hour with bioluminescent ripples spreading around her frog like form. Next, we have Gobansex, goddess of storms, representing anger and chaos. She's actually Atabe's destructive aspect. I depicted her forming from storm clouds and her spiral arms mirroring a hurricane shape. We have Yukahu, the god of fertility and peace. I visualize him as a figure made entirely of rainforest vegetation, meditating in a misty summit with a path for hikers below to be unaware of the presence. Then we have Huracan. Yes, this is where the word hurricane comes from. He represents fear and chaos. I placed him over Havana's seawall. His form is visible only in the patterns of rain and crashing waves. Next is Maketauri Guayaba, the Lord of the Dead, representing grief. He sits in a batwing cloak atop San Juan's famous coastal cemetery, with souls drifting toward the Atlantic at twilight. Boynayel, the rain god, hope and joy. His tears become gentle rain over Jayuya coffee plantation, a rainbow arcing toward the mountains. Maboyas, a trickster spirit. causes anxiety and unease. He stalks through Santo Domingo at night, causing technology to glitch as he passes. Duality, Atabe and Guabansets. As two sides of the same goddess set in flooded areas after a hurricane, it shows love transforming to protective fury and represents resilience. Guagana, spirit of romantic love. She manifests among salsa dancers at La Placita de Santurce on a Friday night, surrounded by Taino murals. Lokuo, the first human, full of wonder and discovery, placed in the jungle, experiencing diaspora with ancient wonder. For my creative process, I had four stages: research, the mythology, match deities to emotions, create modern settings, craft detailed prompts combining cultural accuracy. For cultural sensitivity, that was essential. I made sure to acknowledge the time people are alive today, use correct terminology, research thoroughly, and transparent that this is Taino inspired work, not Taino art. Avoided stereotypes and consulted sources. AI art raises real ethical questions. Copyright concerns about training data, bias, and underrepresentation of indigenous cultures, and questions about authorship. My position is AI is a tool, the ethical responsibility lies with humans using it. The biggest challenges were cultural accuracy, prompt engineering, like explaining how a frog woman deity, what a frog woman deity is to AI, and just maintaining that visual consistency because I would write things and it just wouldn't come as I wanted. But future outlook is it's constantly advancing faster than I can even understand. So it's just higher fidelity, better video generation, more fine tuning, more real world applications for to include game design. For my sources, the National Geographic, Smart History, the Metropolitan Museum, and the Confederation of the Taino People. Thank you for watching. I'll close this with a quote from Taino leader George Baracute Esteves. The Taino people were not exterminated. We want the world to know. Thank you. Please let me know if you have any questions.